Students, and welcome to my class. I am Lara Tereza ARCILLAS, and this is Understanding the Self. So, for this class, I'm expecting BS Hospitality Management students from ASCOT. Pero, if you're not from my class, you can still watch my videos. I will be teaching Understanding the Self this whole semester, and I will be uploading all my videos here in YouTube. So, before we proceed with our introduction to understanding the self, syempre allow me to introduce myself first. Again, I am Lara Tereza Arcillas. I'm an instructor at Aurora State College of Technology. I've been with ASCOT for almost 5 years now. So I'm a graduate of BS Human Ecology, major in Human Settlements Planning at the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Currently, I'm taking my master's in Environment and Natural Resources Management at the University of the Philippines Open University. So, let's proceed. For this video, I divided it into four parts. So, we will have four topics. First, we'll have our course overview, and then our course outline, and then our class requirements, and our assignment or activity. Okay? So, let's start with our course overview. Ano ba yung understanding the self? Recently, I asked you to complete a Google form or to answer the Google form. At isa sa mga questions doon is, what's your expectation from the subject? So, some of you are saying na you expect to understand yourself better after this kasi nga naman from the course title itself, Understanding the Self. Sabi niyo, hopefully, mas madali siya. I mean, hindi siya ganun kahirap. Okay, so let's see, ano ba talaga yung understanding the self? So, sabi dito, the course deals with the nature of identity as well as the factors and forces that affect the development and maintenance of personal identity. So, from this statement alone, meron ka na kagad, dalawang beses na kagad nasabi yung identity. Kasi dito, importante na maintindihan nyo yung sarili nyo. Alam nyo kung sino talaga kayo. And from that, syempre yung target natin is to develop. Okay, kung ano yung meron kayo ngayon. Kung sino kayo ngayon. Hindi natin kasi pwedeng sabihin na, eto ako ang ganito na lang ako. So what we want is for you to develop kung ano yung identity nyo right now. So sabi dito, this course is intended to facilitate the exploration of the issues and concern regarding self and identity to arrive at a better understanding of oneself. So, usually, pag face-to-face class, sharing talaga yung nangyayari. We will be discussing issues, ano yung mga na-experience nyo, ano yung mga bumabother sa inyo, are you feeling down? Are you okay? Ano yung mga pinagdadaanan nyo? Mostly sharing kasi siya talaga. So, student sharing and then pag-aaralan natin yung mga discussions. And then, lastly, this course includes the mandatory topics on family planning and population education. Sorry. So dito, minsan naging awkward yung conversations pag pinag-uusapan na yung family planning. Kasi as we all know, pagdating sa Pilipinas, sa bansa natin, medyo taboo topic yung family planning, taboo topic yung sex, okay, condom, okay. Pero dito, we will discuss that. So dapat, we are mature enough to discuss these topics. So yun yung course overview natin. Etong picture na 'to na nakikita nyo, ito yung module na gagamitin natin for the whole sem. This module is written by me and Ma'am Ampi Espinosa last year. So I think ito rin yung gagamitin ng lahat ng magte-take ng Understanding the Self sa ASCOT. Okay? So I will be uploading the soft copy para magkaroon kayo ng reference. Let's proceed with our course outline. So, sa course outline, I will discuss, or I will, well, it's an outline. I will discuss yung mga topics na yung coverage, the whole coverage for our whole semester. So, The whole semester, meron tayong tatlong chapter. Chapter 1 will discuss self from various perspective. Chapter 2, unpacking the self. And Chapter 3, managing and caring of the self. Chapter 1 muna tayo. Under Chapter 1, meron tayong 4 na lesson. Okay? The first one is philosophical perspective. Under philosophical perspective, pag-uusapan natin ang 11 mga pilosopo. Mga philosophers. Okay? Hindi ko na isa-isahin kasi as we go through the class, di-discuss din natin sila. So ano lang yung gagawin natin dito? Yung gagawin natin dito is to understand ano ba yung pagkakaintindi nila pag sinabing self. And what I want you to do is to look at kaninong definition ng self pinakamalapit yung definition mo of the self. So yun yung ilan sa mga gagawin natin under this lesson. The next one is lesson 2, sociological perspective. Under this, we will focus on 3 sociologists. Si Mead, si Cooley, and si Goffman. Okay. So we will focus on how our society affects ourselves. Okay. Lesson 3 is psychological perspective. So we'll talk about different psychologists and their concept of self. So siguro the most popular sa listahan na to would be Sigmund Freud, pero we'll be discussing 2, 4, 6, 7 psychologists. The last lesson under chapter 1 is Western and Eastern concept of the self. So, kung mapansin nyo, sa first 3 lesson kasi natin, from philosophical, sociological, to psychological, lahat sila mga Western. Okay? So usually galing Europe, some from America. Sa lesson 4, we will focus on Eastern concept, usually from Asia. So we'll focus yung concept of the self based on 4 religions. Yun yung focus natin. Buddhism, Hinduism, Confucianism, and Taoism. So that's the coverage for chapter 1. For chapter 2, we have 6 lessons: physical self, sexual self, material self, spiritual self, political self, and digital self. So, 6 na lesson. Una would be the physical self. Under physical self, we'll talk about changes sa bodies nyo, okay? And then, yung body image nyo. Ano ba yung body image? Feeling mo ba ang ganda-ganda mo? Feeling mo parang ang pangit-pangit mo? How do you see yourself? Okay. Ano yung epekto? What are the causes? Actually, what are the causes and the effects of poor body image? Pagtingin mo, pag mababa yung self-esteem mo, paano siya nakaka-apekto? Or ano yung nagkakos nun? And then, yung concept of beauty. Saan ba galing ang concept of beauty natin? For lesson 2, this is where it gets awkward, honestly. I've been teaching understanding the self for 3 years now. And most of the time, pag nandito na sa topic na to, interested ang students, yes. Pero, it gets awkward. Kasi sometimes they don't want to participate. Okay? So, we will discuss physical development, what turns people on, sexual orientation and gender identity, sexually transmitted diseases, triangular theory of love, and responsible parenthood. Okay, so yun yung mga topic under sexual self. Under material self, okay, ano ba yung meron tayo? Okay, at kung may pera tayo, ano yung bibilhin natin? Ano yung priorities natin? Materially speaking. Okay. And how does it affect ourselves? Okay, yung material possession natin, paano tayo naaapektuhan? Lesson 4 is about spirituality. Do you believe in God? How did you find out about your God? Okay. So, syempre, if we're talking about spirituality, we'll be talking about religion. We'll also be talking about rituals kasi part siya of spirituality. And then, we will discuss some religious beliefs around the world. So, we will focus on religions na popular or marami yung nag-observe ng religion na yon around the world. So we'll focus on Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, and Judaism. For lesson 5, we'll talk about political self. Here, I will ask you to complete the sentence. Here, I will ask you to complete the sentence. Pilipino ka ako. Paano masabing Pilipino ang isang tao? Dahil ba gumagamit siya ng tabo sa CR? Dahil ba, ano pa ba, nagmamano? Paano masabing Pilipino ang isang tao? So, symbols, heroes, rituals, values. And then we'll talk about strengths and weaknesses of the Filipino character. Ang mga Pinoy, hospitable yan. Kaso, may kasunod na kaso, di ba? Kaso, laging late. Filipino time. So, yun yung mga pag-uusapan natin. Chapter 6, chapter 6, I'm sorry. Lesson 6 under chapter 2, the last lesson under chapter 2 is digital self. Okay. So, it's digital times. Okay. Lalo na ngayon, this is very important. Diba? Everything is online. Ngayon, hindi na lang one ang technology. Need na siya. So, we'll talk about Philippines and digital technology. Kung gaano karami ang mga Pinoy na may internet at walang internet. Bakit ang Pinoy ang isa sa pinakamaraming account sa Facebook? Okay. Paano kasi? Isang tao, tatlong account para sa iba't ibang jowa. Okay. Digital technology and the self, may typo. And setting boundaries to your online self. Ako, I'm guilty of this as well. Diba? Yung tipong dapat natulog ka na, pero browse ka pa rin ng social media mo. Okay. And also, one thing you need to remember under digital self, sabi nga ni Pia Wurtzbach. Okay. Think before you click. So, we'll talk about things to consider before you post on social media, okay, before you share your information. Okay, so yun yung mga topic that we will discuss. And then our last chapter, chapter 3, is managing and caring for the self. There will be 3 lessons. Okay, learning to be a better student. Paano ba maging better student? Setting goals for success. 5 years from now, where do you see yourself? Um, 5 years from now, dapat graduate na ako. Sobra pa, may tawad pang isang taon, di ba? Tapos dapat nagtatrabaho na ako. 10 years from now, may experience na ako. Tapos, yung experience na yun, gagamitin ko for my business. Okay. Where do you see yourself? At paano mo balak i-achieve yung goal mo na yun? Taking charge of one's health. Okay. Health is important, be it physical self or mental health. You have to take care of yourself. So we will discuss that on lesson 3. That will be our last topic for the whole semester. Okay. So that's our coverage for the whole semester. Now, let's talk about class requirements. So, sabi ko nga sa Google form, I ask you, kasama sa tanong ko, what do you expect from your teacher, from me? Sabi nyo, sana understanding the self yung subject, sana understanding ka din. Okay, may mga ganon. So, yes. Syempre, I will be understanding kasi mahirap eh. This is the first time actually no gagawin natin to. Distance learning or online class or modular, whatever we want to call it. It's our first time. Hindi nyo lang first time din namin mga faculty. So we learn as we go. Pero for our class requirements, ito naman yung expectations ko from you. Okay? Syempre, will be lenient. Okay? Pero you still have to submit your requirements. Ano ang requirements natin sa klaseng to? Una, we have exams. For this class, we have 3 exams. So, prelims, midterms, finals. So, that will be 30% of your grades. And then we'll have module activity, which is 20% of your grade. Project, 15% of your grade. For your project, I'm sorry, for your project, yung last project no, I remember would be, anong tawag dito? Scrapbook. Okay. Integrating everything you've learned from our discussion. So, dapat may pakita nyo sa scrapbook nyo yung physical self nyo, yung sexual self nyo, yung material self nyo, ano pa ba? Political, digital, and spiritual self. Okay? So, kasama yon sa project nyo. Quizzes, honestly, I still don't know paano tayo mag-quiz, but definitely there will be quizzes. Recitation, paano ang recitation? So, for my class, dahil meron na tayong Facebook group, I will be posting questions sa Facebook group natin. And then, magpa-participate kayo doon. So, ang gamit lang natin, we'll make use of the technology available to us, which is Facebook. Lahat naman tayo may access, di man lagi, pero may access naman tayo. So, we'll make use of that. I will be posting questions. You'll have to answer. Make sure though na hindi siya copy-paste kasi I check it. Okay? Don't be afraid kasi I'll be asking for your opinion. And most of the time, pag discussion, I actually allow students to speak or this time type in Tagalog or speak in Tagalog. Okay? Para mas confident kayo. So you could share more. Okay? Attendance, ma'am. Paano po yung attendance? Ang attendance for this semester alone, ano na siya, tawad ko na sa estudyante, libre na sa estudyante. So, 95% na lang yung kailangan yung i-workout. Yung 5% sa inyo na. Okay? So, for a total of 100%. Okay, ito ay isang tanong na lagi kong naririnig ever since I started teaching understanding the self. Sabi, mali pa, kapag bagsak ba ako sa understanding the self, ibig sabihin hindi ko naintindihan ang sarili ko. To answer it once and for all, the answer is not necessarily. Okay. Pwedeng naintindihan mo naman yung sarili mo. Ang problema, di ka nag-submit ng requirements mo. Okay? Don't expect na papasa kung hindi nagsasubmit ng requirements. Okay? So, make sure lang na nagsasubmit ng requirements. And, madali lang naman eh. Okay? So, assignment. Our first activity is for you to introduce yourself creatively. Paano mo siya gagawin? I already uploaded a video na sample on how to creatively introduce yourself to class. So you can sing, you can dance, pwede kang mag-TikTok, pwede kang mag-room tour, pwede kang tumula. You can be creative. But make sure that it will only be 2 minutes long. Pwede kang umarte, pero wag isang oras. Wag isang buong telenovela, okay? Kasi nasa 300 ata ang estudyante ko this semester. At pag tigi-tigi isang oras kayo, ayun na lang ang gagawin ko the whole sem. Okay, so maximum of 2 minutes per student. Paano po isasubmit? You will have to submit it in Google Drive. Okay? Paano mag-submit sa Google Drive? I already uploaded a tutorial on how to create folder, how to upload files, and how to submit your requirement. Okay. You will see it on YouTube. I will send you the link as well. So, that's your assignment, your first assignment. How will I grade your assignment? Okay. Content is 40%. Creativity. Anong nangyari? Hindi ko pa na-edit to. Okay, linawin natin. Content is 40%. Baguhin ko na because nababother talaga ako. Ayusin natin. Nawala. Okay. Content is 40%. Creativity is 30%. Presentation is 30% for a total of 100%. Okay? Ayan. Okay. Maliwanag na. Ulit. Content is 40%, creativity is 30%, presentation is 30% for a total of 100%. So, that's the end of our introduction. Thank you. If you have questions, You can send me a private message on Facebook o kaya sa group natin, or you can send me an email at arcillasLaraTereza@gmail.com. So, I will see you in our next class. Bye!